Nanjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rūpa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rūpam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathamvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamvitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome to the Rūpa Śikṣā session every Friday and Saturday morning. Yesterday we discussed one particular theme in the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta that was devotional service in love of Godhead. After describing the symptoms of pure devotional service and how by executing sadhana bhakti one can attain prema and one should be free from bhukti and mukti, then what is Krishna prem? Mahaprabhu describes in few verses. Sadhana bhakti one performs rati udhay. One attains rati. Rati is bhava, as I mentioned yesterday. And when rati becomes intensified or condensed, then it is prem. So we discussed yesterday this whole purport. How Prabhupada is very clearly establishing that when one actually begins sadhana bhakti, and then when prem vriddhi kramenam, prem expands, or the higher levels of prema are what? Sneha, mana, pranaya, raga, anuraga, bhava and mahabhava. So yesterday we saw that even in prema there are these higher levels and stages which no sadhaka body can sustain these kind of devotional ecstasies. It's only manifested in the siddha devotees and those sadhakas who have attained perfection siddhi and they have entered Krishna Leela, like the Rishishari Gopis and the Dandakaranya Rishis. They were participating in Krishna Leela, and these devotees who are born in spiritual bodies in Braj, Vrindavan, in Baum Vrindavan, Krishna's Leela, they and especially the Nitya Siddhas can experience these higher levels of prema. So we saw this, and Prabhupada's definition of all this, not all, but few he gives in this purport. There are few in others which we did not discuss. From Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Prabhupada quotes this. Then Prabhupada explains how this prema intensifies with the example of sugar cane. It is in the form of a seed, then there is a sugar cane, and then there is juice extracted, and then there is molasses, then solid molasses, sugar, candy, rock candy, and then lozenge. And then Prabhupada introduces that this bhakti ras is actually the stahi bhav. And yesterday we discussed the concept of stahi bhav. Stahi bhav is the permanent emotion which a devotee possesses in relationship with Krishna. This doesn't change. Stahi means it is, sthit. Stahi hai. So Mother Yashoda has her stahi bhav, that is Vatsalya Prem. So the stahi bhav is revealed at the stage of bhava, but it is cultivated in sadhana stage with the practice of raganuga sadhana bhakti after nishta. So nishta, ruchi, asakti, there is cultivation where there is internal meditation on this particular mood of whether sakya, vatsalya or madhurya. And especially in Mahaprabhu's movement and Rūpa Goswami, it is mostly madhurya. And then at bhava, it is revealed, stahi bhav. And then there is vibhav and anubhav. So yesterday we discussed what is vibhav, anubhav, stahi bhav, sanchari bhav, and satviki bhavs. We gave this example how different ingredients all together combine to give rise to rasa. Similarly, there is first stahi bhav has to be there, and stahi bhav combining with vibhav, anubhav, sanchari bhav, satviki bhavs together give rise to rasa. So yesterday we discussed this. Anubhavas we discussed also yesterday. And the other two bhavas also is explained in this verse. And then another example is given to understand how these all ingredients mix together and they become rasa. So this is where we finished yesterday. So let us continue our discussion now. The direct and indirect transcendental mellows, rasas. So Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta is nectarian, and especially Rūpa Śikṣā and Sanatana Śikṣā. So after Rūpa Śikṣā is over, we plan to start Sanatana Śikṣā, which is quite elaborate. In fact, Rūpa Śikṣā is just one chapter in the Madhya Leela, chapter 19. But Sanatana Śikṣā is 3 chapters. So it's quite exhaustive. And Rūpa Goswami was only taught 10 days, but Sanatana Goswami was taught 2 months. So the whole philosophy of rasa, the science of rasa, is quite extensively discussed in the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta, and it is basically based on the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So it's as good as we are getting the best of the two, Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu together. But sadhakas should study Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu quite scrutinizingly on a regular basis and enter into this understanding of the philosophy of rasa. So let us see now this theme, the direct and indirect transcendental mellows. Mukhya and Gaun rasas. Anyone knows which are the Mukhya rasas? Which are the 5 primary rasas? So we begin, let us see. How many of you know which are the 5 primary rasas? Yes, Manoj Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, that Madhuri Rasa, Valsalya Rasa, Prem Rasa, Sakhya Rasa, that 5.
Okay, these are the Mukhya rasas, correct. And what are the Gaun rasas?
Don't remember.
At least few. What are the Gaun rasas? Anyone else? Which are the Gaun rasas? Or the secondary rasas? Anyone else would like to try the Gaun rasas? Which are the Gaun rasas? Or the secondary rasas? Okay, let us see. There are many: Karuna ras, Vibhatsa ras, Raudra ras, Hasya ras. There are 7 such Gaun rasas. Okay. So today we will little bit dive into what is Mukhya rasa, what is Gaun rasa, based on the verses from the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta and Prabhupada's commentary. Bhakta bhede rati bheda pancha prakara shantarati dhasyarati sakyarati ara vatsalyarati madhurirati ei pancha vibheda rati bhede Krishna bhakti rase pancha bheda. Very beautiful is the Bengali verse composition by Kaviraj. According to the devotee, attachment falls within the 5 categories. Pancha prakar of Shantarati, Dasyarati, Sakyarati, Vatsalyarati, and Madhurirati. So that is mentioned here. Shantarati, Dasyarati, Sakyarati, or Vatsalyarati, Madhurirati. Now, please carefully be in this discussion. We explained Rati as the stage of Bhava where there is attraction. And this attraction towards Krishna is based on rasa. Somebody who is in Shantras, his attraction towards Krishna is based on that Shantras. Somebody is in Sakyaras, his attraction towards Krishna is, he will see Krishna as a friend. But those who are in the Vatsalyaras, they have also attraction towards Krishna. But they see Krishna as a son. And those on the Madhuriras, they also have attraction towards Krishna. And that attraction, because of that, Madhuriras, they see Krishna as a lover. So there is Rati also in this 5 different types. These 5 categories arise from devotees' different attachments to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The transcendental mellows derived from devotional service are also 5 varieties. So like that, there are 5 types of attractions based on the 5 kinds of rasas. Then there will be Rati Bhede. Because of this 5 kinds of different attractions, Krishna Bhakti Rase Pancha Bheda. So there are 5 different rasas based on this. So this is what the verse is saying. Now let us see Prabhupada's explanation. Shantarati is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhupada practically in most of the purports from here onwards and even in Sanatana Śikṣā, he just keeps on quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Shantarati is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2:5-16-18 as follows. Manase nirvikalpatvam shama ityabhidhiyate. When one is completely free from all doubts and material, attachment. Manase nirvikalpatvam. He attains a neutral position. Shama iti abhiyate. It's called Shanta. Further, the verses are Vihaya Vishonmukam Nijanand Stitiryata Atmana Katayate Swatra Swabhava Shama Ityaso Raya Shama Pradhananam Mamata Gandhavarjita Paramatmaya Krishne Jata Shantaratirmata. The Shanta Rati realization of Krishna is in the neutral stage between the conception of impersonalism and personalism. Prabhupada is not translating this entire verse here, but here we can understand that Prabhupada's explanation. This means that one is not very strongly attached to the personal feature of the Lord. He is free from Vishaya and is fixed in the pleasure derived in the self. Nijananda Sthitirata. And he has attained this Shama, this neutral position. And there is Mamata Gada Gandha Varjita. There is no also positive attraction to the personal feature of the Lord. And usually it is the Paramatma realization. And this is called a Shantarati. So Prabhupada, that's what explaining here in the purport. An appreciation of the greatness of the Lord is called Shantarati. So there is just some appreciation of the yogis who meditate on the Virata Purusha or the Paramatma in the heart. You know, the Paramatma is the creator of this universe, you know, the majestic form of the Lord, of how he is the controller, the maintainer, the director of the universe. So there is just appreciation of the Lord's powers. Oh, I am insignificant. The Lord is very powerful. That's it, the relationship is. This is Shantarati. Anyone can quote one reference from the Gita where this is being discussed, of how one has a majestic appreciation for the Lord's opulence. Anyone knows from the Bhagavad Gita which verse discusses? I can give you a hint. It is there in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Anyone would like to try? Anyone would like to try? So there was mention appreciation of the Lord. So here in this verse 8.9, Kavim Puranam Anushastaranam Anyoraniyam Sanusmaretya Sarvasya Dhataram Achinta Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Kavim, he knows everything. Puranam, he's oldest. Anushastaran, he's a controller. He's smaller than the atom. And one should think always, he's the maintainer, he's inconceivable, his form is like the sun, he's beyond darkness and he's transcendental. So these kind of appreciation of the Lord in his Aishwarya, especially as a creator and the maintainer, this is what is Shantarati. This is what is Shantarati. So we should have a clear understanding of what this appreciation of the greatness of the Lord. This is attachment not to the personal feature, but to the impersonal feature. Generally, one in this stage is attached to the Paramatma feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada is very, very clear here, and he's quoting Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddesha Arjuna Tushriti Brahmayan Sarva Bhutani Yantarudani Mayaya. On the strength of this statement from the Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that in Shantras, a devotee sees the Lord's representation everywhere. So Ishwar is situated everywhere in everyone's heart. He's situated everywhere in this universe. This is the kind of vision devotee in Shantarati has. Now next, let's come to Dasyarati. Dasyarati is explained in the Bhakti-Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.27. Thus, Swasmat bhavanti ye nunas te nugraya harer mata aradhyatmika tesham rati pritir irita tatra shakti prid anyatra priti samharini hi aso. When the Supreme Lord in his localized aspect is appreciated and a great devotee understands his subordinate position, not only does he surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but due to his subordinate position, he wishes to render some service and thus become favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here there is one step ahead in Dasarati, that he understands the Lord is very great, Paramatma in the heart. And now he further goes one step and understands his own position. Oh, I am Atma, I am insignificant, and the Paramatma is very great. So I should serve the Paramatma and surrender to the Paramatma. So this kind of realization is where one goes to the next level, that is the Dasyarati. A devotee in Shantarati is not very much willing to render service to the Lord, but a devotee in Dasyarati voluntarily wants to render service to the Lord. So this is the difference between the two, Shantarati and Dasyarati. Due to this attitude, the devotee in Dasyarati realizes the Supreme Personality of Godhead more fully than a devotee in Shantarati. So this is comparative between the Dasya and the Shantarati. He considers the Lord to be worshipable object, and this means that his attachment for the Lord increases. Thus, Dasarati is characterized as Bhakti Pareshanubhava Viraktir Anyatra Cha. In other words, on the Dasarati platform, a devotee is attached to rendering service to the Lord, and he is detached from material activities. Shantarati is neither material nor spiritual, but Dasarati is actually on the spiritual platform. So here again, Prabhupada is bringing out the subtle difference between Shantarati and Dasarati. Shantarati is neutral. You're neither in the material nor in the spiritual. But Dasarati is you're in the spiritual. There is no attachment for material things on the spiritual platform. Viraktir Anyatra. A devotee in Dasarati has no attachment for anything but Krishna's service. Dasya Bhav is there. Seva. Sakyarati is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.30 as follows. Yesus tulya mukundasya te sakyah satam mata samyad vishrambarupesham rati sakyam ihocchate. According to the opinion of advanced devotees, satamata, and learned scholars, a devotee in Sakyarati feels equal to the Supreme Personality of God. Samyad. Samyad means equal. This is the relationship of friendship. Due to having a friendly relationship with the Lord, not only is one free from material attachment, but one believes in equal dealings with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is more intimate, we can see in Sakyaras. This is called Sakyarati. The Sakyarati devotee is so advanced that he treats the Lord on an equal level and even exchanges joking words with him. Can we imagine, we can joke with the Lord. Although one is never equal to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Sakyarati devotee feels equal to the Lord, and he does not feel guilty because of this. Usually, it is offensive to consider oneself equal to the Lord. The Mayavadis, for example, consider themselves equal to the Lord, but such feelings entail bereavement because they are material. So, this equality is on the spiritual platform and not based on tattva because of rasa. So, based on rasa, the devotee feels equal. And here, the Mayavadis, in their tattva only, they are completely wrong. And they are not able to understand the actual position of the Lord. Sakyarati, however, is a feeling experienced in the mind by a pure devotee, and he is eternally related with the Supreme Personality Godhead in that feeling. It is basically the bhav. Vatsalyarati is described as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 2.5.33. Guruvo ye hare rasya te pujya iti vishruta anugrahamai tesham rati vatsalyam uchyate idam lalana havyashish chibuka sparshadi krit. When a living entity is situated on the platform of Vatsalyarati, he thinks of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his childhood feature. Now, very important, Mother Yashoda always sees Krishna as her child. In the Bhaumalila, Krishna goes through these different ages, the Kaumara, the Pauganda, and the Kaishora. Kaishora is, the youth age. But in the Nityalila, Krishna is always in the Kaishorya. But in Mother Yashoda's eyes, she's always seeing him as a child because of Vatsalyarati. That is the power of the love the devotee possesses in the heart. In this feature, the Lord has to be protected by the devotee, and at this time, the devotee takes the position of being worshipped by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These feelings of parental love are called Vatsalyarati. Now, we see even in this world, even when the mother gives birth to the child, there is a lot of Vatsalya affection for the child. And as the child grows also, even sometimes he's very grown up, still the mother has that kind of protection and caring attitude for the child, although he's very grown up. So that is because of the Vatsalya feeling. When the devotee is situated on this platform, he wants to maintain the Lord like a son, and he desires all good fortune for the Lord. He offers blessings to the Lord by touching his feet and head. Madhurirati, or attachment in conjugal love, is described as follows. It's quite elaborate purport. Prabhupada is describing every verse of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and giving an explanation. Mitor harer mrikakshas cha sambogasyadikaranam madura para paraya priyata koditarati asyam kataksh bruhu shepa priyavani smitadaya. Madhurirati, the conjugal relationship experienced between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the young damsels of Rajbhumi, continuously exist in 8 kinds of remembrance. There are 8 kinds of remembrance. This intimate relationship brought about by conjugal love produces movements of the eyebrows, kataksha, glancing, sweet words, priyavani, and exchanges of joking words, mitadaya, smile. So these are the kind of exchanges which happen in conjugal love, and practically in the material world also we see that these kind of exchanges happen. But in relationship with the Lord and the gopis, it is completely pure and on the transcendental platform. Okay, any questions regarding all these 5 kinds of ratis? Oh, There are questions. I'm surprised. Okay. Yes, Sunita Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam Prabhuji. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that in spite of all the rasas are superior at their own places, why Madhurya rasa is considered as the superior most?
Okay, this is all a subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Because within Madhurya Ras, there is Dasya, there is Shanta, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhuri is also there, which is not there in other four. Just like in earth, there is a smell, there is taste, there is touch, and everything else. All other elements are there in earth. But in the individual elements, like in water, there is only taste. There is no smell. So Madhurya Ras reigns supreme because within Madhurya, all other are included, and that's the topmost rasa also. So even in this material world, we have experience when the child gives, when the mother gives birth to a child, then there is more Vatsalya dealings. Vatsalya rasa takes prominence, and as the child grows, the child starts going out of the house and starts taking pleasure with his friends in playing. So for him, although there is Vatsalya ras, reciprocation with the mother, he's now more interested to relish Sakya ras with his friends. And as he grows as a youth, now he is not interested more in friends, he's interested in girlfriends. Yeah, he wants to relish the Madhurya ras. And because of Madhurya ras, the Vatsalya ras also comes down. He doesn't want to spend more time with his mother, but then he wants to spend time with his lover. So the Madhurya ras becomes very prominent, and sometimes because of Madhurya ras, he will give up his parents also to stay with his wife or with his girlfriend. I'm just giving an example just to give a hint. So even in this world, Madhurya ras is the highest. So similarly, that is the same thing in the spiritual world. Speaking from the 6 rasas which are there, there is Lavana, there is Amla, then there is a Madhur rasa, and then there is Tikshna, then Katu and Kashaya, like that. So among these different varieties of foodstuffs and taste, there is Madhur. There is Madhur ras, that's also reigns supreme. So like that, Madhur ras has its preeminence. It is the topmost among all. There is one more hand raised. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, bro.
Yes.
Bro, just wanted to ask this. Santrasa, it deals with basically impersonal feature of the Lord. So, so how it is falling in, devotional service of personal feature? How it is falling in devotional service? If it is.
This is one subject. Sometimes we cannot fathom.
One more question I'll ask afterwards. One more question.
Yeah. So how does it fall in devotion? There is certain kind of devotion to the Paramatma feature of the Lord. And that's why this devotion is mostly mixed devotion. And there is, the Lord is so great. How can I really serve the Lord? So there is a great appreciation of the Lord in his Aishwarya feature. And because of this appreciation, he just has awe and reverence. There is only prayerful attitude and glorification of the Lord in his Aishwarya feature. So there, the development of a higher stage, the development of the higher stage has not happened. This is definitely to do for yogis. And even in the bhakti, there is, there are devotees who are in Shantarati. We will see that when it will come further in the Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta now. It will come today or maybe in the next week. That many devotees, if I ask, Prahlad Maharaj is related to the Lord in which rasa? Anyone knows? Anyone knows? It is Shantras. Because Prahlad Maharaj is constantly remembering the Lord. He's constantly remembering the Lord. So there is no much reciprocations which are happening. There are no much personal reciprocations. When there is reciprocation, there is service. So just to give an idea, sometimes it's difficult to fathom. I give this example of how a husband and wife, although they are related in Madhur Ras of the lover and beloved, but sometimes when they fight, they are not talking with each other and they don't see each other's face, although they are staying together. So in one sense, they are experiencing what is called as Shantaras. So it's not like, Shantaras means, there is no personal feature of the Lord. There is there, but there is no, what you can say, there's no development of love which has led to the point of service. That is the point. I hope it is clear, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, second question. This rasa, does it, there is a transition between, from Sant, Das, is there transition or one stays permanently in particular rasa?
Oh, you mean whether we go through first Shantras, then Dasya, then Sakya, then Vatsalya and Madhurya come like that, we go through, or we get particularly attracted to one rasa?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
a
yes.
question?
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. Usually, based on our association and our practices, we will get attracted to a particular kind of rasa. We will get attracted to a particular kind of rasa, and based on our mood on sadhana and practices, especially in the Raganuga stage, and we will develop that particular rasa. It's not that there is gradual development from Shanta we'll go to Ras. Like if you're practicing Raganuga sadhana bhakti, at the stage of Nishtha, you are self-realized, and based on the Krishna Katha you are hearing from the Srimad Bhagavatam, you develop a particular pastimes taste for those particular pastimes, either the Krishna Bal Leela pastimes or the pastimes with his friends or the pastimes with the gopis, and you develop ruchi for that, and you'd like to hear that more. So from the spiritual masters. So then you have a taste. Oh, I also want to serve Krishna in this particular rasa. I want to follow in the footsteps of the gopis. I want to follow the footsteps of Nand Maharaj and Yashoda. I want to follow in the footsteps of the Sakha, Sridhama and Sudhama. So like that, we develop that particular mood, and then we develop it. And of course, those who have attained Shantarati, like the four Kumaras, when they might come in contact with someone who is at a higher rasa, they might get attracted and further develop. It is possible, but it is very rare. At the same time, if somebody is on a higher rasa like Vatsalya and he commits offense to a great soul, then he can come down in the rasa from Vatsalya Rasa, Rati he is attracted to, he might come down to Shanta Rasa. That is also possible. Just a second. Yes. I hope Virendra Yadav Prabhuji, it's clear, na?
Yes, true. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
One more last question. Yes, Sunita Mataji. Yes, ma'am.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, please give examples of the devotees in all these rasas from
That will
Gaurli.
come up in next verses. It will come up.
Okay.
Shantadasya Sakya Vatsalya Madhurya Rasanam Krishna Bhakti Rasamade Ei Pancha Pradhan. The chief transcendental mellows, Pancha Pradhan, experienced with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna Bhakti Rasamade, are Shanta Dasya, Sakya Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Now, please understand what Prabhupada is now explaining in the purport. He is again quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but you can see this is from the Eastern, Southern, Western division. If you see these verses which Prabhupada quoted, they were in the Southern division of Sakya Rati, Vatsalya Rati, Ratis, these are Ratis. Now Prabhupada in the purport is quoting Rasa, Shanta Bhakta Ras. Shanta Rati is different, Shanta Bhakti Ras is different. So Prabhupada is quoting now from 3, 1, 4 and 6. Vakshamaner Vibhavade Shaminam Swadayatam Gata Stahi Shantaratir Dhire Shanta Bhakti Rasasmrita Praya Swasukha Jatiyam Sukam Swad Atra Yoginam Kintva Atma Saukyam Aghanam Ghanam Tva Ishamayam Sukam Tatrapisha Swarupanubhavasya Veru Hetuna Dashadi Vanmano Yatma Leelader Na Tatamata. When Shantrati, neutral attraction, exists continuously and is mixed with ecstatic emotion, and when a devotee relishes that neutral position, it is called Shant Bhakti Ras. So, there is Shantrati, that is the Sthahi Bhav, and when it mixes with other ingredients, then only it gives rise to Rasa. So here the definition given is for the Rasa. It is mixed with ecstatic emotions. It is mixed with ecstatic devotions. Just to give an example, somebody sees the majestic Aishwarya of the Lord in the form of this creation, and seeing this Aishwarya feature, he experiences certain emotions. So the Rati is Shanta, but along with the Vibhav of the Aishwarya feature, that is the Vibhav, then it all gives rise to Rasa. So I hope this point is clear now. Shanta Bhakti Ras devotees generally relish the impersonal personality feature of the personality of Godhead. That is mentioned. Praya, somewhere it is mentioned here in the verse. Since their taste of transcendental bliss is incomplete, it is called as aghana, not concentrated. a comparison is made between ordinary milk and concentrated milk. So Shantrati Ras is ordinary milk, not concentrated milk. When the same devotee goes beyond the impersonal and tastes the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his original form as Satchidananda Vigraha, the taste is called concentrated, ghana, transcendental bliss. Sometimes the devotee in Shantras relish transcendental bliss after meeting the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But this is not comparable to the transcendental bliss relished by the devotees situated in Dasaras, the transcendental mellow in which one renders service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here is a point which I was mentioning, that even the Shantarasa, they meet the Lord in his personal feature. But, there is some rasa they are relishing, but it is not condensed. Aghana, that is why the term has been used, aghana. And in Dasya, because there is a rendering of service to the Supreme Personality, there is intimacy, because if you have to render service, you have to go closer to the Lord. And in Shantarati, there is no rendering of service, that's why you are far away from the Lord. So there is no reciprocation happening, that's why. So there is no relishment of rasa there. Now let us come to Dasyarati. Somehow I have not... Dasya Ras. Now, it's not Dasya Rati what is being discussed, it is Dasya Ras, Dasya Bhakti Ras. It's described in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Again, it is in the Western division. Second chapter. Atmochair Vibhavadhe Pritir Aswadinitam Nita Chetasi Bhaktanam Priti Bhakti Rasomata Anugrahi Asya Dasatval Lalayatvat Apayam Vida Vidyate Sambrama Prito Gaurava Prita Ityapi. This is very important now to understand Dasya. When, according to his desires, the living entity develops love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this beginning stage of love is called Dasya Bhakti Ras. Dasya Bhakti Ras is divided into two categories called Sambrama Dasya and Gaurava Dasya. Now, this is very important to understand, Sambrama and Gaurav Dasya. So, in the Vaikunta and other places like in Dwarka or Mathura, Krishna has his friends like Arjuna and, who is he? Not able to recollect his name. The Bhagavad Gita is mentioned. One of the powerful archers. One second. Yudhano. Yudhano is no, not Yudhano. There is one powerful archer. Anyone remembers? Yes, here it is, I think. Sataki, yes, Sataki. So Sataki and Arjuna are also friends of Krishna, but their friendship is more on Sambrama. Gaurav. They have they have an understanding that he is God. Krishna is God. But the Brajvasis who have friendship with the Lord, their friendship with the Lord is Vishram Sakya Ras, where they don't realize that Krishna is God and they consider Krishna as their friend and equal. That's why they can play with Krishna. It's not that Arjuna can put his arms on Krishna's shoulders. He might do that also, but he cannot climb on Krishna. He cannot think about that. But Krishna's friends can do that. So that is the intimacy in this. Yeah, I was looking for this Sataki. So this is the difference between Sambrahma Dasya and Gaurav Dasya. In Sambrahma Dasya, the devotee renders respectful service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in a more advanced Gaurav Dasya, the devotee feels that he is receiving protection from the Lord. Sakya, Bhakti Ras is described in the following, as follows in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, let me just take off the other things. I don't know why it's not done. Tahi bhavo vibhavade sakyamatmochite riha nitaschitte satam pushtim rasa prayen udirate. According to one's original consciousness, ecstatic emotions may be exhibited as continuously existing in fraternity. When this stage of Krishna consciousness is mature, it is called Preyo Ras or Sakya Bhakti Ras. So we have seen now Dasya and now we are seeing Sakya. Next is Vatsalya. Vatsalya Bhakti Ras is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. Vibhavadestu Vatsalyam Stahi Pushtim Upagatah Esha Vatsalya Namamrata Prokto Bhakti Raso Budhe. When eternally existing love of Godhead transforms into parental love and is mixed with corresponding emotions, that stage of spiritual existence is described by learned devotees as Vatsalya Bhakti Ras. So most important here, if you carefully observe, Vibhav Ade. Vibhav is that which stimulates the Stahi Bhav. So based on seeing the object of love, Krishna, you see him as a friend, you see him as a lover, you see him as a son, then that particular rasa, Vatsalya Ras or Madhurya Ras or Sakya Ras will manifest. So that's why in the definition that Vibhav is always there. Now the last, Madhur Bhakti Ras is described in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu as follows. Atmuchiter Vibhavade Pushtim Nita Satam Ridhi Madhurakhyo Bhaved Bhakti Raso So Madhura Rati. If in accordance to one's own natural development in Krishna consciousness, one's attraction leads towards conjugal love within the heart, that is called attachment in conjugal love or Madhurya Ras. Now the Mukhya Rasas have been discussed. Now the Gaun Rasas. Hasyadbhutastata Virya Karuno Raudra Ityapi Bhayanak Sa Bibitsa Iti Gaunascha Saptada. Besides the 5 direct mellows, there are 7 indirect mellows known as laughter, wonder, chivalry, compassion, anger, disaster, and fear. So Prabhupada in his purport mentions this verse is found in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. But anyway, first, before we start with the indirect mellows, any questions or clarifications anyone has up till now? Okay. Yes, Birendra Yadav Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu just wanted to know this particular rasa is it necessary that all these 5 components of rasa, I mean, yes, 5 component has to be there to manifest that particular rasa? Like vibhav, anubhav, sanchari bhav, sthai bhav, and satviki bhav. All 5 has to be there. Then only it will be released that particular rasa.
Okay, very nice and interesting question. Everyone is really now diving into the science of rasa. It's very nice to know that. Okay, firstly, we need to understand that in order to relish rasa on the spiritual platform, the stahi bhav has to be there. The stahi bhav has to be there. Now, just the stahi bhav will not do. The stahi bhav has to have these other samagris. That is vibhava, anubhava, satviki bhav, and vaivichari bhav. Now, when the stahi bhav is there, now take the example of Vatsalya ras. The stahi bhav of Mother Yashoda is Vatsalya. Now, the rasa, what is experienced in the heart, is because of the stahi bhav. First thing, it is because of the stahi bhav. Now, this rasa which is relished, that is the Vatsalya rasa, now it is what you can say, it is intensified when other rasas, other bhavas, not rasas, other bhavas combine together. Other bhavas combine together. That is vibhav. Vibhav is again object of love. The object of love is Krishna. The Mother Yashoda has love for Krishna all the time. When she's at home, she's cooking for Krishna. Krishna is not present. Krishna is there in the forest. But she's cooking. Why? Because her object of love is Krishna and she wants to feed Krishna. So the love is present in the form of Vatsalya ras in the heart. But when it is evening and Mother Yashoda sees that there is Godhuli happening, the sun is setting, her stahi bhav or Vatsalya prem gets intensified. So the Godhuli, the sun setting, is also vibhav. These are called as, in fact, uddipans. They also stimulate the stahi bhav. They are called as uddipans. There is a different subsection within vibhav. So these uddipans, in one sense, uddipan karna, they are like spiritual sense objects which agitate more the stahi bhav. So this, this kind of a scene, like the sun setting and the Godhuli, Mother Yashoda's Vatsalya frame is now overflowing more. And when she sees actually the object of her love, Krishna, coming, her Vatsalya prem is more intensified. So like that, there is the stahi bhav, which is the basic permanent emotion. And these others, vibhav and anubhavs, they all combine and in fact give rise to more rasa. So the anubhav is what? Anubhav is the voluntary actions. This is an expression of love. And these voluntary actions give more pleasure. Like you are seeing, you are having darshan of the deities and you are feeling happiness. But now because of seeing the object of your love, you start dancing there in front of the deities. You feel more happiness. You're relishing more rasa. So like that, stahi bhav combined with all other bhavas give rise to rasa. Another simple example to give is you can have rice and milk and boil it and have as kheer. But then you add some more bhavas in the form of ghee. You add some more bhavas in the form of dry fruits. You have some more bhavas in the form of natural honey into it. So all this, when you more add these other samagris and relish now the sweet rice, it's going to give you more rasa. So something like that. Is it clear, Prabhuji?
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, Sunita Mataji. Last question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, to ask, the manjaris are into which rasa?
The manjaris are into Madhuri Rasa. And within Madhuri Rasa, there are again divisions. Firstly, there is in the conjugal love, there is wedded and unwedded, the Swakiya and the Parikiya. The Mahishis, that is the queens of Dwarka, they are in Swakiya. The Gopis in Vrindavan, they are in Parakiya Ras. This is unwedded love. And within that, there is also divisions mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. There is, I'm not able to recollect those terms, which is mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. I'm not able to recollect, sorry. I can find out and let you know. So within the Parakiras also, there are again divisions, and the Manjaris belong to that one particular division, which is still higher. Sambhog Ichatmika and Tat Bhava Ipsita, something like that. Yes, correct. Sambhog Ichatmika means the gopis who are in Parakiya Ras, they want to give pleasure to Krishna. There's personal meeting with the Krishna to give pleasure to Krishna. This is called as Sambhog Ichatmika. This is within the Parakiya Ras. And Tat Bhava Ichatmika is they relish, the Manjaris relish a particular mood of a particular gopi, and they just serve. They don't personally try to give enjoyment to Krishna, but they serve the gopis and they relish that mood. So this is considered as the highest, and that's what is mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. This is a subject matter of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is dealt in Raganuga Bhakti more, and in further divisions also it is dealt. Any other questions? Okay. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, one more question. I'm sorry for so many questions, but why Parakiya Ras is the topmost rasa?
Oh, these are all fundamental questions which we should be quite thorough now. This is a fundamental question from the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita introduction mentions that even in this world, if a wife is having a paramour, and she's although she's married, because she has love for the paramour, she will very carefully do all her household duties so that nobody will find out about it. So it is mentioned, Prabhupada says that this kind of attachment is very, very deep. It's very deep. So while doing all her household duties, she's always thinking of when to meet her paramour. So this kind of this is in the material sense, it is the most degraded and highly irreligious. And but this also gives the highest pleasure. This kind of love which is outside the marriage. So that is why in the spiritual world, that is pure, and that's why it is the highest. So that is the reason. Okay, so we will stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Rupa Goswami Pad ki jai, Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu ki jai, Shri Chaitanya-Caritāmṛta ki